Some of our local communities are picking up the pieces after two confirmed tornadoes ripped through our area on Friday. Take a look. This is the damage left behind in Pittsylvania County and Bedford County. That was an EF2 tornado in Pittsylvania County and an EF1 in Bedford. Now our crews have been in the affected areas all day watching the recovery efforts underway. We have team coverage tonight getting an inside look at some of that destruction. But first, let's go to meteorologist Thomas Battle. And Thomas, the National Weather Service sent crews out to survey both of those areas. What did they find?
Oh, well, we did have those two surveys, both checking those storms. The Pittsylvania County tornado did end up being a F2, an EF2 tornado, a very long tornado as well. It went down on the ground for about 7 miles. Now, at its widest point, it was 225 yards wide as well, and got up to almost 120 mile an hour at its highest point when it came to the winds. It crossed over Dry Fork Road and then was moving north. Pretty decent clip. A lot of these were moving fast there around Irish Road, hit around the Flint Hill area as well. Now, this storm did lift, and we did see these storms going through a lot of the same spots. Now, we're also looking at some of the information we have for the Bedford County tornado. We don't have a track for that one yet. We'll likely get that tomorrow. It was an EF1 tornado as well. Now, the winds for that only getting to about 105 to 110, so just a little weaker than the one that was over Pittsylvania County. But we are going to see a little quieter weather, though, the next couple of days. Still some rain. I'll have more on that, though, coming up in a few minutes, Kelsey.
Thanks, Thomas. Our team coverage continues with ABC 13's Alexia Stanbridge. She tagged along with the National Weather Service while they surveyed the damage in Pittsylvania County and gives us an inside look.
I got up, shut the front door, and went towards the back of the house, and we had gotten the alerts.
It was a frightening Friday for Susan Holland, who lives on W.I. Powell Road in Pittsylvania County. She says it had just poured down rain that afternoon, and the sun was starting to shine when all of a sudden
It got really dark, really fast, and then you could hear the noise coming.
After assessing the damage, Phil Heisel with the National Weather Service says the tornado was on the ground for 6.85 miles. It was 225 yards at its widest.
Tornadoes, you'll see a narrow path of damage that usually on the edges of the damage will point inward.
The tornado left its mark, splitting trees in half and ripping some of them from the ground. It also pulled shingles and siding off of the homes here.
It's very fortunate that there was only one injury, from my understanding, looking at the significance of the damage.
I'm just grateful that it wasn't worse as far as any people getting hurt.
Heisel says this is an example of why it's important to keep an eye on and listen out for storm warnings. The National Weather Service issues them for a reason, and he says, thankfully, the people here listened. In Pittsylvania County, Alexia Stanbridge, ABC 13 News.
And the Pittsylvania County community is now coming together to help their neighbors get back on their feet. ABC 13's Sharice Hoffman shares the recovery efforts underway in Dry Fork.
That's the sounds of the Dry Fork community working to rebuild after an EF2 tornado ripped through the area. It damaged several homes, destroyed vehicles, and left countless number of trees lying lifeless on the ground. Now crews are in cleanup mode.
We've got numerous crews out, God's Pit crew and a couple other that are out, doing cleanup, debris removal. We have opened the county landfill to be able to get the debris in.
Pittsylvania County Public Safety crews checked in on the 25 damaged homes, looking at what needs to be done. One of those homes belongs to Steve McDowell, who's lived in the area for more than 3 decades. He tells me he was sitting in his living room watching TV when he saw the tornado warning alerts. He went to his window and noticed something strange happening with the trees in his front yard.
Spinning. The top of them started spinning from the wind. And me and my wife immediately went to the basement to a safe spot.
He and his wife came out when it was safe to find this. 20 to 25% of his roof ripped off, debris scattered across his property.
It was quite surreal. You see it on television, you don't think it's going to happen to you, but it actually did occur in this location.
While there's a long road of recovery ahead for McDowell and the rest of the Dry Fork community, he's grateful that his family and his neighbors are safe.
It's just a house. It can be fixed. It can be repaired. So shingles can be replaced. Houses can be replaced, and lives cannot be replaced.
In Pittsylvania County, Sharice Hoffman, ABC 13 News.
God's Pit Crew, a Danville-based nonprofit, is also lending a helping hand to those affected. They cut down trees, mucked homes, and helped with mold remediation. God's Pit Crew prides themselves on providing hope, healing, and restoration to disaster-stricken communities. Jared Johnson with God's Pit Crew says it's fulfilling to help their neighbors in need.
It means more than anything to us to be here and in Danville, in Dry Fork. You know, people see us going all over the country, but people here need just as much help. And it means the world to me, and I know it means the world to our founder, Randy and Terry Johnson, to these volunteers that are here to show up for our community.
God's Pick crew also plans to send crews to Georgia as communities there deal with the effects of Hurricane Helene. And the National Weather Service also surveyed the damage in Bedford County, confirming it was an EF1 tornado. This is at Dickerson Mill Road. You can see trees down and damaged property. Doug Butts, a meteorologist with the NWS, says we saw rotating storms with some of the outer rain bands from the remnants of Helene.
We had several reports of damage across the area, so we're out just trying to look at the damage and determine whether or not those were caused by tornadoes.
Butts says the tornado had wind speeds about 105 to 110 miles per hour. Now, the storms we saw yesterday left hundreds of thousands of you without power. Right now, Appalachian Power says 125,000 customers are still in the dark in Virginia. Most of them are in the southwest area. Take a look. Carroll County, 15,000 without power. Another 10,000 are in the dark in Grayson County. There's also over 9,000 outages in Roanoke County and Roanoke City combined. Appalachian Power expects services will be restored by Tuesday night. And yesterday's storms also brought heavy flooding to our area. Take a look at this video from the Grayson County Sheriff's Office. It's from the Fries Dam at a flood stage of 20 feet, which is considered a major flood. Floodwaters are expected to remain high in the region for a few days. Over in Pulaski County, officials say river gauges in Allison and Radford have gone down, but will likely remain at flood stage until Monday.